A soft, shimmering throne surrounds you. Lightning crackles. 24 figures, robed in white and crowned with gold, sit in reverent silence around a majestic throne. Who are they? You may have seen them in art or heard them in sermons, but their identity, purpose, and symbolism remain mysterious. Today, we'll dive deep, peeling back layer by layer to reveal who the 24 elders are in the Bible. The book of Revelation describes them first in chapter 4, and round about the throne were 4 beasts full of eyes before and behind. And the 4 beasts gave glory and honor and thanks to him that sat on the throne. Then John says, and 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. Immediately we wonder, who are these elders? Why 24? What do they represent? Are they angels? Are they resurrected saints? Or something else entirely? Let's begin by examining what the text says, word by word. Then we'll explore how theologians, both ancient and modern, have interpreted them. We'll test each hypothesis: angels, human representatives, heavenly priesthood, or symbolic embodiments of Israel and the Church, and we'll contrast interpretations from Catholic, Protestant, and Orthodox traditions. Finally, we'll consider what their role means for us today. First, the description. Revelation 4:4 says they are clothed in white robes, sitting on thrones, wearing golden crowns. White robes in Revelation typically signify purity, victory, or sanctification. Crowns often represent authority, reward, or worshipful honor. Thrones imply authority, judgment, or governance. So from the start, we see these elders are not minor background figures. They hold positions of authority, value, and honor in the heavenly vision. Second, where they appear and what they do. After their introduction, the 24 elders fall down before God, worship, cast their crowns before the throne, and say, "You are worthy, O Lord, for you created all things." They respond when God's judgments roll forth. They praise God's holiness, sovereignty, and redemptive works. Throughout the unfolding vision, they act as worship leaders, as representatives, insisting that all creation honors God. Now, interpretation time. One major proposal is they are angels. Some early Christian writings, and some modern interpreters, argue, since there are many angelic beings who worship God, perhaps the 24 elders are a special order of angels, standing closest to God's throne, participating in heavenly worship. The strength of this view, it accounts for their proximity, worship role, and authority context. But weaknesses emerge. Revelation doesn't explicitly call them angels. Elsewhere in Revelation, when angels appear, they are named or described as such. Moreover, Revelation 4:10 says the elders fall before him who lives forever, referring to God in a way distinct from how angels are described. Another hypothesis: the 24 elders represent redeemed humanity, specifically the church across time, or the saints made righteous through Christ. In this view, the 24 is symbolic. 12 tribes of Israel, Old Covenant, plus 12 apostles, New Covenant, symbolizing the fullness of God's people across history. Thus, the elders represent both covenant continuity and total redeemed humanity. They are not angels, but human representatives worshipping before God. This resonates with Revelation's numerous symbolic numbers and patterns. Supporters of this view point to Revelation 5:9-10, where the twice redeemed faithful are described as a kingdom and priests unto God. A third view: the 24 elders represent a heavenly priesthood. Just as in the Old Testament, priests served before God, offering sacrifice and leading worship. These elders serve as heavenly priests who mediate worship, offer reverent service, and represent creation before the throne. They cast down crowns, offer incense implicitly, and lead worship. Their role echoes the priestly functions in the temple, now in cosmic form. But which view fits all the data best? To answer, we must examine early Christian sources. Justin Martyr, in the 2nd century, identifies the 24 elders with biblical images of worship, but stops short of naming them definitively as humans or angels. Later, Augustine leans toward symbolic interpretations, seeing them as the whole people of God, both Old and New Testament believers, gathered before the throne. In contrast, some Eastern fathers emphasize angelic interpretations, seeing them as exalted heavenly beings. Let's press further. Numerology. Why 24? Symbolic numbers in Revelation matter. The number 12 appears often. 12 tribes, 12 gates, 12 apostles. 24 is double 12. It may signify completeness, unity of covenant people, Jew plus Gentile, Old plus New Covenant, or fullness of worship across all time. If you see 12 plus 12, you see a cosmic gathering of God's people. But if they were angels, why precisely 24? Why not 72, 100, or more? The symbolic coherence with 12 plus 12 supports the human representative view strongly. Now, let's pause and listen inwardly. If the 24 elders represent redeemed humanity, what are they doing? They worship God. They cast crowns, symbolic acts, saying, "All authority I had, I now surrender before the throne." They affirm God's worthiness. This isn't just spectacle, it's symbolic participation in cosmic worship, representing us before God. The heavenly vision invites us to see ourselves in their place. Before we move on, let's address objections. Some say, but Revelation 4 is visionary, full of symbols, you can't read it too literally. True, but symbolic doesn't mean meaningless. Each image was chosen to communicate deep truths. The armless beasts, the glowing throne, the crowns all work to convey cosmic worship and authority structures. The 24 elders anchor that structure. To dismiss them is to miss a major part of Revelation's theological architecture. So far, we've set the table. We know who they might be, what they do in the text, and what symbolism lies behind their number and actions. We'll dig even deeper. We'll examine Revelation 11, 19, and 20, where the elders may reappear or be referenced. We'll explore modern interpretations from scholars like Beale, Bauckham, and McLaren. And we'll conclude, what does all this mean for you today? As the thunder fades and the light around the throne grows even brighter, the 24 elders continue to appear throughout the visions of Revelation, not just as background figures but as active participants in the story of redemption and judgment. In Revelation 5, for instance, when the Lamb takes the scroll, the elders fall down before him, each holding a harp and golden bowls full of incense, which John explains are the prayers of the saints. Here, they act as mediators, presenting the worship and petitions of God's people before the Lamb. That single image, elders holding prayers, is profound. It shows that heaven is not detached from earth. Instead, there's an ongoing connection between divine authority and human devotion. Now, notice the song they sing in that same chapter. You are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals. For you were slain, and by your blood you ransomed people for God from every tribe and language and people and nation. If they themselves sing that song, they are clearly speaking as the redeemed. Angels do not speak of being redeemed by the blood of the Lamb, only humans do. This one detail has led many scholars to conclude that the elders must represent redeemed humanity rather than angelic beings. Still, there's nuance. Some manuscripts phrase the song slightly differently, saying, "You have redeemed them," rather than "You have redeemed us." That small difference has sparked centuries of debate. Are the elders singing about themselves or about others? In some Greek versions, the pronouns shift, suggesting they might be a choir proclaiming redemption in general, not necessarily claiming it personally. But the symbolic thread remains. They re-involved with the redeemed community and the Lamb's redemptive act. Let's fast forward to Revelation 7. Here John sees a vast multitude in white robes, countless souls, standing before the throne. It's tempting to connect them with the elders' imagery. And notice, one of the elders actually speaks to John, asking, "Who are these clothed in white robes?" And then answering, "These are they who have come out of the great tribulation." That exchange reveals two key things. First, the elders possess knowledge and authority. They understand divine mysteries. Second, they communicate revelation to John. In that sense, they act like heavenly teachers, guiding the prophet through the unfolding vision. Later, in Revelation 11 and 19, the elders reappear, worshipping God as his judgments unfold. In Revelation 11, 16, 17, they fall on their faces and give thanks. "We give you thanks, Lord God Almighty, who is and who was, because you have taken your great power and begun to reign." Their worship marks the turning point of history, heaven's acknowledgement that the reign of God has come in full. They celebrate God's justice, holiness, and sovereignty. They aren't passive observers. They're active witnesses to the cosmic shift from rebellion to restoration. This consistency across chapters strengthens the idea that the 24 elders are a permanent council of worship, perhaps the heavenly counterpart to the 24 divisions of priests that served in Solomon's temple, as described in 1 Chronicles 24. Back then, the priests were divided into 24 courses, each responsible for temple service at appointed times. In Revelation, the 24 elders serve the true temple, the throne room of God. They are the eternal priesthood, worshipping day and night before his throne. The connection is striking. The earthly temple was just a shadow. The heavenly throne room is the reality. Now, beyond the ancient imagery, think about the structure of a royal court. In ancient times, kings often had councils of elders or advisors seated around them, wise men, seasoned leaders who offered counsel and gave honor to the ruler. John's vision adapts that concept into a cosmic key. God is the supreme king, and the 24 elders form his celestial council, a symbolic representation of order, wisdom, and perfect governance in his kingdom. In modern scholarship, this image has gained renewed attention. G.K. Beale suggests that the elders function as representatives of the entire redeemed community, the church triumphant worshipping before God in heaven. Richard Bauckham takes it further, saying they represent the whole creation's acknowledgement of God's sovereignty. Their crowns and thrones show delegated authority, meaning they reign with God in his eternal purpose. In essence, they reflect humanity's intended destiny, to rule and serve alongside the Creator, restored to glory. But the message of the 24 elders isn't just theological, it's deeply personal. Their constant posture of worship teaches something vital. No matter how high they're exalted, they lay everything down before the throne. Every crown, every honor, every symbol of achievement, surrendered in recognition that God alone is worthy. In a world obsessed with self-glory, the elders show us the opposite path. Greatness through surrender, glory through worship, authority through humility. And notice the rhythm of their actions. Every time the living creatures give glory and thanks to God, the elders respond. They fall down, they worship, they cast their crowns. This cyclical pattern illustrates the heartbeat of heaven. Worship is not an occasional act, but an endless, joyful response to God's infinite worth. It's spontaneous and continuous, a reflection of perfect harmony between Creator and creation. The 24 elders, then, stand as a bridge between heaven and earth, between symbol and substance, between God's eternal plan and our human story. They embody what redeemed humanity is destined for, clothed in white, crowned with victory, seated in authority, yet forever bowing before the throne. In them, we glimpse our future calling to reign and to worship in perfect unity with God. So, who are the 24 elders? In the final synthesis, they are the symbolic and spiritual representation of all God's redeemed people, from Israel's patriarchs to the apostles of the church, from ancient prophets to modern believers gathered in perfect harmony around the throne. Their number signifies completeness, their robes purity, their crowns victory, their thrones participation in divine rule, and their song, their endless worship, reminds us of the ultimate truth Revelation wants to reveal, that history ends not in chaos but in communion, not in destruction but in glory. The 24 elders aren't just figures in a vision. They are the echo of what we were meant to become. They invite us to live now as citizens of that heavenly kingdom, to worship with that same reverence, to lay down our crowns in daily surrender, and to look forward to the day when we too stand before the throne and say, "Worthy is the Lamb." That is the mystery of the 24 elders, not a hidden riddle, but a revelation of destiny. They are us, transfigured, redeemed, and made royal through the blood of the Lamb.